Sophia Anna O'Brien. How was I introduced to her? You know what? I'm 100% sure that I was introduced to her through Christine Lachard. I'm 100% sure. All these rumors start to circulate about the teenage girls who can control electricity, read minds, and what they're trying to do is they sense Project Stargate in, other agencies, and they're trying to figure out who is legitimate and who is not. You know, they know, I mean, Bo and Cass know that she doesn't have these abilities, so it's like, you know, at some point they're going to be put into a situation where they could get hurt or killed. So Casper decides, well, everyone decides after a conversation, that the best course of action would be to get Cindy and little Jenny out of there. And they've been told, you know, over the radio and the TV that, you know, the nearest rescue station is basically the school, Moonbrook Falls High School. So that's what they intend to do, take them there and drop them off.
All right, wait. You're right. I'll say I ran into them and kept them safe while I was trying to find a radio that works and find out what the hell is going on here.
They think it's a smart thing to do, is get them to this rescue station, but they don't know this doctor is there and a bit of a sadist. You know, they've set up a lab. They start experimenting on the girls that are brought in to see if they have these powers. And he goes too far and he kills Cindy. And I said, okay, so first off, you you have been murdered by, you know, Dr. Irvine, okay? I'd written in a sequence where they find, you know, where Cassie actually, you know, finds her head in a bucket in this walk-in, and like loses the plot. You know, I'm a chef for years and years in New York, and I asked around, I asked all over the place, and I couldn't get a fucking walk-in to film in, so I had to let that go. You know, but it worked for the best in some ways. It's a little more abstract and surreal. So I tell Sophia, I said, look, okay, so you've been murdered by this doctor. Your head's in a bucket in a refrigerator. I'm going to have to do that effect. And I was thinking like, oh, how do I do it? Maybe I'll cut a hole in the pail, right? Then I can like slide it over a head and have a head in there, like real head, you know, and have it just sort of like, and I can light it from behind or underneath, and that was never going to happen because she lived so far away. I spoke to a special effects guy who I know called Peter Gerner. He just finished the project for Larry Fessenden and a werewolf movie. He made a suggestion. He said, you know, this is like a cheap, easy effect. He said, but if you take someone's profile of their photo and then the side, blend them together, laminate it, put it in a jar, fill it with water, you can make it look like a head inside a jar. He says it's a cheap, easy effect. And I said, okay, so let me look at that. I went away, I bought a pickle pail. I ordered from Uline. I got 5 pickle pails that were just sat around the house forever. I got rid of them not long ago. I don't know, I gave one away to somebody who wanted it. And so I had this pickle pail. And so I called Sophia and I said, Sophia, look, can you do me a favor? I said, can you wet your hair? Like just wet your hair and pretend you're dead, like your head's been cut off and it's floating in formaldehyde or whatever in a bucket. And she was just like, what the fuck? is this guy asking me to do? And what I do is I drop them into GIMP and I blend them together, okay? I print it out, I laminate it, and I bend it. And as I bend it, sure enough, it actually looks like a severed head. I put it in, I try to put it inside the pickle pail. Oh, what a pain in the ass that was. So I'd like bend it, tape the back so it would hold together and it looked more like a head. And then I went looking for hair. You know, I was like, I went to a wig store and I'm walking around the wig store and it was like, you know, the section where obviously they couldn't ship these wigs for love or money. And there was this cheap wig in the corner and it was exactly like Sophia's hair. It was freaky. I showed Sophia, she's like, I was like, it's exactly like your hair, right? So I put that over the top inside the laminate. So I bend the laminate round so it looks like my face. Then I put the wig on, you know. Not me, although I did. And I put the wig in there. I fill it with water and a little bit of red food coloring to make it pink. And then I lit it from underneath and from the side. And it sort of did the trick. I think it looked better before I put the water in. I guess looking back, I should have pushed the plastic laminate. I should have wedged something in the bucket and pushed the plastic laminate closer to the front of the pickle pail so you would see her face a little more. But it does the trick. I mean, you can see when you can see that it's a head in there, you know. And sometimes less is more, you know. Sometimes it's. And the day we come to shoot, I gave her the laminate. I said, look here, this is a little gift for you to go home with. And there's the sequence with a can where Cassie is using her power and pushes it and it flies through the air and Cindy catches it and she's like, whoa, because she's testing her power. And you see Cindy is like, whoa, this is crazy. So you know what you're doing, right? Okay. Ready? Action.
Sorry.
It's okay. Action. Cool. Oh my God, we got it. It's like wild. You can move objects. You can control objects. You can control electricity. You can also, what the hell just happened? So that's where they're sort of playing with that, and you see her also, you see Cassie with the pen, and she's practicing like Morse code, because she's actually going to end up inside the battery, inside the pen, because she can become electricity. She can go inside things that allow the flow of electricity. And so that's a whole other side story that I have. But she's going to be inside the pen, inside a battery. I remembered things from when I was young and how other filmmakers with, no money had managed to pull off, cheap special effects and make them work. So it was a trip playing with that, and it actually all worked. It looks really good. Yeah, and she was there for the day, and it was like, oh, I really could have used her one more day. It would have been perfect. It would have added, those extra little bits and pieces I needed to pull it off, but she couldn't do it. And but she was fantastic. She's a real talent. It's like you can find her work online. SOPHIA ANNA O'BRIEN. I highly recommend going online and checking her out. It was wonderful working with her. And yeah, I said to her, I said, I really hope we get to work with each other some more in the future. I really do. You know, I only got to see like the very, very tip of the iceberg.